Pamela Peeters, and this is the Eco Hero Lab. Well, you'll receive a lot of knowledge on how to shape a sustainable society. In this masterclass, you will learn why the time has come to develop a sustainable economic model and what needs to change.
My name is Anne Snick and I'm a researcher, and I've done research into sustainable development for almost 30 years. First in terms of social sustainability, how can we fight poverty? And then we discovered that the causes of why so many people live in poverty are the same causes, the same mechanisms that explain why our environment is suffering so badly. So that's why we joined forces and we said, well, the social fight and the ecological fight are the same. We're gonna work towards a system that does not exploit and exclude people, and that does not exploit and destroy our planet, because we depend on it. It's our livelihood for future generations and for everybody on the planet. So to do that, we know now that why the planet is suffering and why so many people are fleeing, migrating because they can't live off their local land no more, is because we have established a certain model of economy, an industrial model of economy that increases growth in one place, but can only do so because it exploits and destroys in other places. It's called a linear extractive economic model. And we see many, many young people especially developing totally different new economic models, which are oriented to, that have as their aim to allocate only the renewable resources of the planet to the needs of all people and all living beings of the planet. And that is what economy is about. That is our capacity to use what the planet really has to offer with the help of sunshine, to make everybody, live together in a healthy ecosystem together. If we can do that, that allocation is difficult. How do we use that? How can we use the sunshine? What tools do we need for that? How do we use money systems to distribute what we have, etc.? That is what sustainability is about. It's about inventing a new economic model. What we're learning today, which is really exciting, is that we learn how the planet functions. We learn that our planet is like a living entity in itself that functions according to certain laws. One of the laws is that what there is there. There is no molecules that come in from space or that leave the planet from space. It's called the first law of thermodynamics. There's a certain mass of molecules on the planet. They can change forms, they can change shape. Water can become gas and can become ice, but the molecules remain the same. So, first law of thermodynamics, if you create growth in one place of the planet, it means that you're taking away something from other places in the planet. You're taking away resources or you're polluting resources. So we know now that the planet is what it is, and it's a very rich thing. It's beautiful, it has beautiful nature and water and air and oceans that are full of life and full of things that can give us a quality life, except we have to understand how it functions and to understand how we people, we human beings, can use it in such a way that the planet is happy and can keep offering us these services, and that we're happy and live a good life in harmony with the planet. That is one. Now the second one is there was a little historical sidetrack where we found oil, which is fossil fuel. The only energy that comes, the only thing that comes from outside space is solar energy. Solar energy creates plants. Photosynthesis makes for plants that can feed us, that become wood, that we can burn, we can build houses with. So the thing that keeps coming from the sunshine is our real energy, our real source of energy. So if we use all that what the sun is giving us and the planet is giving us, we can really prosper. Look how human beings are a very successful species, so we can continue to do that. Just we found fossil fuels, which is like millions of years of solar energy that are stored and that are available at once. So with those fossil fuels, we could do much more, millions times more than what we can normally do with the input of one of the solar energy in 1 year. So that made us believe that there is no limit. That, fossil fuels come from a source and the source will keep running forever. But hélas, we discovered it's not true. Fossil fuels are there in a limited stock, one thing. But the second thing is if you burn them at a faster rate than the planet can resorb the gases that you emit, then the climate will change and the air will pollute and ecosystems will die. So we've done that for a while, the whole industrial system is based on that, and we should be grateful because it has allowed us to produce wonderful things, to travel around the world, to build beautiful, beautiful houses and schools and hospitals, etc. Except now the planet is saying, woohoo, can we turn back to normal because this is really exhausting me. So now, next step, with everything we've got, the enormous riches that we have, we now go to the third step. It's not going back to medieval times where we didn't have the oil. It's not going back to the industrial times where we all of a sudden had an explosion of things. It's now going to the next step, which is, hey, we share the planet and we share all the riches that have been produced with what the planet has to offer us. And now we're going to design a system so that both planet and all people on the planet can have a beautiful life with it. And this is what sustainable development and the new economy is about. And we need lots of talent and lots of creativity, lots of enthusiasm to do that. And I've seen so many young people who are just brimming with talent, ideas and goodwill. So yes, we can share our planet, and it's already happening. Today is really exciting. We're really on the threshold of something new. And one of the elements that show you that is that many political powers have now signed the Sustainable Development Goals. That means there is really a political will to go to a new system, a system that no longer kills the planet and exploits people, but that contributes to the well-being of everybody within what the planet has to offer us. The closed system of the planet and the solar energy that starts things moving on this planet. So we have the SDGs. But of course, we also still have a lot of the industrial systems and mechanisms that are still there, and we depend on them. So it's like rebuilding your boat while you're in the middle of the sea, and that's why transition sometimes is a bit scary. But if you know that the boat is not going to keep floating anyway, because it's depleting its own, it's also exciting to let's jump in smaller boats and let's try something else. So one of the things is already happening. Let's try another kind of economy. For example, a well-known one supported by the European Union is the circular economy, which is saying instead of taking materials out of the earth, producing them into, using them for a product, for production, then selling that to the consumer and then throwing it away afterwards, which is extractive and linear. We're saying let's use the resources that are available here and make them go round and round and round and round. Ideally without ever losing them, but in reality that doesn't happen because things wear out and there's also always a bit of loss. So we have to take that into account. Now, one of the extra difficulties for stepping towards a circular economy or a more green economy or sustainable economy is that for doing our transactions, economic transactions, we use money. And money itself has some rules of the game that orient our behavior. If you look in the newspaper and it's about sustainability, the last line will always be, oh, is there money for it? Or how much does it cost? So money has become like the hidden mechanism, the hidden thing that motivates us to do something or not to do something. Also, of course, businesses. Businesses in the end are there to make money. Now that is curious. That is really funny. Is the goal of a company to help us to get access to the goods of the planet? Or is it there to make money? Because if it has money, how can we survive on this planet? We see now that 60 people own as much money as half of the world population. But once you have a bed, you can't sleep in a million beds, right? If you have a bed, you have it. So there's something in the money system that is a bit strange. If we look at the money system as it was designed in this industrial period, there's a couple of mechanisms that explain that. The money is created, official money is created by banks, and banks can create it by putting numbers on your account. You want money to start a company, The bank will look at your profile and say, yes, you look like a smart enough person. I give you money, you will be able to make it, earn enough money to pay back. So I create a debt, a loan, and you pay it back to me. I at the bank can create it by just putting digits on your account, but you as a normal citizen, you cannot just put digits on my account. You have to make money by participating in the real economy, by using materials, working with people, doing transactions with your customers, so that you can give the money that the bank gave you back to the bank, but with an interest. If I gave you 1,000, you have to give me 1,030 back. So where is this 30 gonna come from, since it was not created by the bank in the first place? Aha! That means we're all gonna have to compete to get those extra, because if you don't get your interest, you go bankrupt. The money system is designed in such a way that either you outcompete the others or you go bankrupt, you die. Which is crazy, which is the most stupid money system we've ever had. So we get crisis after crisis after crisis, and then governments have to save the banks to put this crazy money system back on the tracks and to start over again. In the last 40 years we had in the last 70 years I think we had 400 monetary crises, so the money system is not stable. The good news is that more and more people are starting to understand, wait a minute, making money, what for? Destroy the planet and exploit people for making money, but you can't eat money. It doesn't keep you dry, you can't breathe it. It doesn't grow fish in it. So let's change the money system. So more and more people, also companies, are saying, you know what, the goal is no longer to make money. We will make money that allow us to work towards the goal of creating benefit for everybody. It's called benefit corporations, economy of the common good, peer-to-peer production. They say, yeah, we're entrepreneurs. We want to have a company and do something. But the goal has to be to contribute to the common good, to make sure that we use the planet in such a way that all the living beings on the planet have access to it, to the goods of the planet, including the future generations. So let's drop that, the monopoly of this extractive money, and let's create other money systems. Okay, there's many banks that say, I will give you a credit, please, you can give me my money back, but no interest. Interest-free loans, crowdfunding. I want to build something. If 1,000 people give me a little bit of money, I'll start farming, and then everybody who contributed will have my products in return. We're not talking about money, we're just talking about producing goods. Ecological farming, community supported, etc. There's also local currencies, cities who say, wait a minute, we can't get, or small companies, we have no access, the banks will not give us money because our goal is not to increase our profits and kill everybody and exploit everybody. So the banks are not interested in us, because what the banks want is to get more money back. So let's drop the banks and let's get a group of people who start doing their transactions among each other, among themselves, and call it a local currency or points or exchange system. And what's happening is okay, we have no money for the bank. Hey, but I have a goat. You have a talent. You have a place that we could use. And so we create these units that allow us to exchange those talents and resources that we have, and poof, local communities start flourishing. You can also say, as soon as somebody does something good for the community, a value is created. So we make a voucher to express that value. And once you have that voucher, it can start circulating, and more people are invited and rewarded for doing something good. So there you get a generative money system. It generates the common well-being of the community, rather than this bank money that pushes us all to be selfish and to say it's in my self-interest to buy the cheapest thing and to buy it, and to exploit it and hide from taxes, etc. We drop the money system that is exploitive and competitive, and we invent money systems that are generative and cooperative. And that is so brilliant. And I see many, many young people that say, yes, we share.